Hello students. Welcome back to yet another fun-filled and exciting class of English grammar. Today, let's begin our session again with a warming up exercise. So, let's begin with a breathing exercise. At my count of 1, 2 and 3, you will breathe in and out, and then we're going to do simple yoga. And then again, breathing in, breathing out, and then we're going to end the warming up activity with the claps. I hope you all remember 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Alright, so count of 1, 1, breathe in, breathe out, 2, breathe in, breathe out, 3, breathe in, breathe out. Make sure to change your position. Maybe if you are sitting in a comfortable position, try to place your hands on the lap, or you can sit in this mudra. This is called the mudra, or the particular way of keeping your fingers in yoga. You can also sit on the floor, but make sure you have a mat on the floor and then you sit down and keep these fingers like this and keep them straight down, touching your knees, both left and right, and straight. Okay, your posture should be straight. Well, this exercise will help you concentrate, prepare your body for your next activity, that is focusing. Good. So let's move to the next activity, that is doing a simple yoga asana. So for that, I want you to join your hands. Place your hands in front of your chest, and when I say 1, you're going to slowly rise your hands straight on top of your head, okay, and then bring it down in front of your chest, and that is count 1, okay. So we'll start again. You're going to do this 3 times. So begin. 1, join your hands, rise slowly on top of your head. Make sure your hands are straight like that, okay? Yeah, so now gradually bring it down. Put your hands down. Join your hands. Count of 2. Start. Rise straight, and then gradually bring it down. Put your hands again on your lap. Count 3. Join your hands. Rise slowly and then go down. Okay? Hands down. So now breathing exercises again 3 times. Count of 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, 2. Breathe in, breathe out. 3. Breathe in, breathe out. Now let's end the warming up exercise with our claps. Count of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So yes, begin. 1, 2, 3, start. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yay! That was quite an activity, right? Yes. So children, let's move on to our next section, the pearls of wisdom. Well, today I bring you a pearl of wisdom said by Mark Twain. He says that a man's character can be learned from the adjectives that he uses when he speaks. Now, what does that mean? It means that if you want to know about a person, then observe what he speaks and how he speaks. Well, if a person speaks too many cruel words, harsh words or bad words, then you end up calling him a harsh person, a bad-mouthed person, and would not be liked by everybody. Whereas on the other hand, if a person talks very politely, uses kind words, uses words that accentuates the other person's character even, then that person is a polite or a humble person. So, he will be liked by everyone. So, did you notice, kids, that I used or Mark Twain used the term adjectives? So, can you guess what the topic is for today's lesson? I'm sure many of you would have got it. Yes? Okay, let me give you a hint. Well, without this part of speech, English grammar would be very dull, boring. What am I talking about? Yes, you are right. It's adjectives. Kids, I want you to think about a scenario. Now, what is that scenario? That I am on the road and I saw a thief running. There he goes. Well, following that thief are the police. There they go. Yes. So, if I were called to the police station and they would ask me, did you see the robber? I would say yes, and they would want me to describe the robber or the thief. Yes? So, what would I use? You're right, I would use a number of adjectives, right? Yeah. So, I would go on describing the thief. They would ask me if the thief was tall or short, whether he was fat, plumpy or skinny, whether he had blonde hair or red hair, or his nose was thin, long, short or widened or broad. What was his skin color? Right? So, I would use a number of describing words, and you know what? The police would catch the thief, and your English teacher Gitanjali would be awarded. Yes, and I would be famous. Isn't it, kids? Well, this is the story of the thief and the robber. Now, did you all notice that adjectives play an important role in our spoken as well as written communication? Well, kids, let's have an experiment, or let's do an experiment. Which sentence sounds interesting? The pig is in the mud. Is it interesting? No, it's boring. So, look at this now. The plump, pink, squiggly-tailed pig jumped into the soft, brown, squishy mud. Now, how does that sound? Really interesting, right? So, the soft, squishy mud, brown mud. I'm sure you know how the pig would be feeling in the mud, wet mud. Okay? So, isn't that very interesting? So, I suggest you all, whenever you write something or speak something, just be expressive, just be colorful and be exciting. Do not be dull. Okay, kids? So, this is what we learn from adjectives, just to be expressive. Kids, it's time for a poem now. So, look at this here. What do you see? You see a home, a house, trees, a very nice widespread scenery, and there are some animals there. So, let us start describing this particular house. In the dusty, musty house was an itchy, twitchy mouse and a hairy, scary dog and a rough, tough frog and a shaggy, baggy cat and a fluffy, puffy bird. The bird was lucky, but this poem is yucky. Isn't it a funny poem? Well, I want you all to recall what you learned in your nursery rhymes. Well, if you remember, you learned Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Yes, 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. Right? You would have also learnt about Old MacDonald. You would have learnt about Miss Muffet. There are so many things that we learnt. We learnt the red roses, the 3 red roses. Well, all this memory brings me or takes me to our next concept in adjectives, that is the kinds of adjectives. Well, we describe a noun qualitatively. Either we talk about the quality of the noun, we talk about the quantity of the noun, we at times talk about the number of the noun, then we talk about the demonstrative or the possessive nature of the adjective. We use adjectives to compare, right? So, there are so many functions of the adjectives. So, let us begin learning them one by one. Here, these adjectives of quality, as the name states, talks about a person's or a thing's quality. For example, Mother Teresa is known for her kindness. That's the quality we know about Mother Teresa. Then, Hercules was courageous. Courageous is the quality of Hercules. Kolkata is a large city. So, what kind of city is Kolkata? It is a large city. That's a quality of the city. He is an honest man. Well, the man is honest and that's his quality. Let's move on to the next one, which is adjectives of quantity. Well, as the name suggests, it talks about the quantity. For example, I ate some rice. He showed much patience. Okay? So, these are the examples for quantity. Take great care of your health. So, great care. This is also a quantity. Let's move on to the next one, which is adjectives of number. They talk about the number of the noun they are describing. For example, I have pink pouch, which is a quality, and I have 6 pens. So, 6 number is the adjective of number. Now, these adjectives of number are again classified into 2. They are definite number and indefinite. It is definite numeral adjective and indefinite numeral adjective. Let's begin with definite numeral adjectives, which means there is a specific number given to the noun. Now, they could be cardinal numbers or ordinal numbers. Cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3. As I stated, I have 6 pens. As I stated, I have 3 red roses, like that. Now, ordinals like Sunday is the first day of the week. So, first is the, yes kids, is the ordinal number. So, this was about the definite numeral adjective. Now, let us move on to understand the indefinite numeral adjective. Well, it is very easy to remember, as the name states, indefinite, where you are not sure about the number. So, for example, any, some. So, here I would give you an example. Some boys are clever. He has lost all his wealth. Okay. So, these are the examples for the indefinite numeral adjectives. So, students, let's understand the next kind of adjective, that is distributive adjective. Now, these adjectives just refer to each one of a number in a sentence. For example, in a sentence, you have either pen will do. So, here you have an option. So, whichever pen you want, you can choose. So, either. So, you are pointing out to each one of the number which you are talking about, the noun in a sentence. So, India expects every man to do his duty. So, here every man. So, here every becomes the distributive. Every word of it is false. So, here every is the distributive adjective. So, let us move on to the next kind of adjective, that is demonstrative adjective. Demonstrative adjectives, well, it is an adjective which is used to point out at a person or a thing which is meant to be pointed out in a sentence. For example, you want to talk about a particular boy. So, here it says, this boy is stronger than Hari. So, here you are doing a comparison as well as talking about or pointing out at the boy. So, this is demonstrative adjective. That boy is industrious. So, it means the boy is industrious. So, this, that. So, it's basically pointing out at a particular person or a thing is demonstrative adjective. Interrogative adjectives. This is the next kind of adjective. The name itself suggests that it asks question. So, interrogative means to interrogate, that is to ask question. So, in a question or in a sentence which tends to or which means to ask questions are called interrogative adjectives. For example, whose book is this? Which way shall we go? So, these are the interrogative adjectives. Let us move on to the next kind, which is possessive adjectives. Now, these adjectives, they usually sit before the noun or a pronoun to show who owns it. For example, hey, this is my choice. This is my pouch. So, my becomes the possessive adjective. I am looking after her dog. So, it's like her dog. So, her here becomes the possessive adjective. So, students, let us quickly recall what adjectives are and what are the kinds of adjectives that we have learnt until now. So, what are adjectives? Yes, I am sure you all know the answer. Yes, you are right. Adjective is a word which describes, quantifies a noun, right? Yes. And what are the kinds? The kinds of adjectives are adjectives of quality. What do? They talk about the quality of the noun. Adjective of quantity, they talk about the quantity of the noun. Adjectives of number, they talk about the numbers. They are again classified into two different kinds, which is definite number, that is definite numeral adjective, and indefinite numeral adjective. Now, what is definite numeral adjective? It is the ordinal numbers or the cardinal numbers. It gives a specific number to the noun. And then indefinite numeral, It is something where the number is not known. It's just some or any, something like that. And then you have the demonstrative adjectives, which points out at a particular noun. Possessive adjective, which is meant to own a particular noun. Interrogative adjective, it simply asks the question about the noun. Now let's begin working on some of the exercises given in your textbook. So for that, I want you all to take your textbooks and come to page number 20, but before that I would want you to solve the exercise or the activity given on page number 18. So come on page number 18 first. It says give one word describing each of these. So a bag. So here, now that we learnt so many kinds of adjectives, use some creative words to describe these following words. So bag, it could be a large bag, it could be a trendy bag, it could be attractive bag, right? So you can use any kind of adjective to it. You can also use number. For example, it is a single bag. It is the only bag in the store left today. So something like that. Shirt, it's a new shirt. It's a flashy shirt. Then chair, it's a comfortable chair. Well, it's an old couched chair. Water, it could be dirty water, it could be clean water, it could be purified water or colored water, anything. So this is the 4 words that I've done for you. You will do the rest of it in your notebooks and read this passage now. Here it was a dull, rainy day and I was wearing a red raincoat to school. On the way, I met my best friend Anu. She was carrying a shiny umbrella but not using it. She said that she loved the summer rain. I was afraid that she would catch a bad cold and get a terrible headache. The words you added to describe the nouns and the highlighted words in the passage are adjectives. They tell us something about the people or things. So here, again, the words which are highlighted in red are the adjectives. Here, if you see, they all are talking about the quality. Okay, they're talking about the kind of the day it was, the raincoat was, or the kind of friend Anu is. And then the umbrella, kind of umbrella it was, how the rain was, it was a summer rain. And then what kind of a cold they had caught, and then what was the intensity of the headache. So it was a terrible headache. So all these words which are highlighted in red are the adjectives. So I want you all now to move to page 20. Exercise A is similar as we have done on page number 18. So just do that similarly. You can take the help of your dictionary or any other reference books to come up with some new exciting and colorful words to describe these words. Then read the passage. This again I leave it to you. Complete it and then send it in the email. Let's practice the exercise A now. Choose the appropriate adjectives to describe these nouns. So students, the question is asking us to choose one of the adjectives given in the bracket which is appropriate or goes well with the noun given here. So the dash sun. So here if you see it's golden or soft. Well, the sun is golden. So we can choose this answer. The second one, a dash lamb, fierce or gentle. So the lamb can only be gentle, it cannot be fierce. So that's the quality of lamb. So you have to use your logical sense here, apply that logical common sense to fill this one. Then the dash fox, sly or serious? Well, it is sly. You can check out the meanings while you are doing this work in the dictionary, excuse me. A dash old man, well, sly or thoughtful. So these two options are there. So you would choose this one because then the old man is thoughtful. Let's move on to the next one. The dash lion, busy or brave? Well, the lion is never busy, it's only brave. So we choose brave. You remember the busy are the bees who, continuously go around into the gardens or into the nature to collect nectar from the flowers to make the honey. So those are busy bees. And then the dash meadows, green or flowing. So the meadows, these are green, they can never flow because they do not move. So they are green mountains. So here green meadows. So likewise continue doing the rest of the questions by yourself. Now time to move to the next page, that is page 21. Fill in the blanks with the most suitable adjective from the box. So read the question again carefully. It says fill in the blanks with the most suitable adjective from the box. So we are going to read the adjectives and then going to fill the correct adjective in the particular blank. So pure, absolute, thumping, entire, complete, true, clear, majestic, welcome, real, commercial, silly. So here the entire script is in an dash mess. So the entire script, they are talking about the script which is in a condition of mess. So what will be the correct one here? So if you check here, pure, absolute, thumping, entire, complete, true, clear, majestic, welcome, real, commercial and silly. So here you could also choose complete, you can also choose absolute. Then even the most intelligent students make dash mistakes, that is they make silly mistakes. We move on to the next one. The old man was advised a dash change of diet and environment. So it could be the old man was advised a complete change of diet and environment. So that will go with this. Then after the incident, he had to shoulder the dash responsibility of his family. So here it says entire family, or shoulder the entire responsibility of his family. So if you look at the first one, we either chose complete or absolute. So here we can go with the first one absolute, the third one with complete change. So here we move on to the next one now. I play the flute in my free time. I find it a dash pleasure. Well, here which one would you choose? Here I find it a dash pleasure. I find it a real pleasure. So we'll stop here and I want you to do the rest of the exercise and do it in the textbook. Send this camera shot by your email. So the next exercise is choose the correct adjectives again. So here you have been given two options you choose any one which goes well in the sentence. At a later or a latter date, she became the director of that company. So, it is later or latter. At a later or a latter date, she became the director of that company. So, what do you think the correct answer is? At a later or a latter date. It will be yes, kids, can you think of the answer? It would be at a later date, not the latter date. So, yes, I prefer the latter or later script to the former. Now, here can you choose the correct answer? So, here it is latter. Now, if you see, the former and the latter are something which is always in sync. Former means the previous one. It's like who is the former president and who is the latter president going to be. So, it's the previous one and this is going to be the later one. It's the next one. That's what we mean. So, this boy is elder or older than Ravi. So, here if we see what is the correct answer, it will be older. It's not elder. He is the eldest or oldest member of the committee. So, here eldest or oldest member of the committee. So, what would you choose? Yes, it is again the oldest member of the committee. So, I shall stop this exercise here. The rest of the questions you shall do it yourself and send the answers in the email. Complete these sentences by choosing the correct adjective of quality or number. So, here we are basically talking about the number or the quantity here. So, if you see at the options here, all these talk about either the number or the quantity. So, let's move solving the first question. There is many or much talk about the principal having resigned. So, here they are talking about, or there is so much that is being talked about the principal having resigned. Now, it means many or much. Which one would you choose? So, if it is many, then it will be in numbers, right? So, we are not talking about any number here or many people or many things, but we are talking about a talk about the principal, which is not related to any number, but the quality. So, here it is much talk about the principal. I was much or several miles away from home. So, here you should choose between these two, much or several. Much again is the quantity which you will not choose with miles. Miles comes with the number, so we go with the several miles. Then, it took all or many years for me to learn the truth. So, here it says, it took all years for me to learn the truth or many years for me to learn the truth. So, which goes well here? So, the answer is many. So, it took many years for me to learn the truth. Dash, that is most or every, farmers have started using modern methods of farming. So, here if you see, they are farmers. So, you need to be careful with the number here. So, it could be most farmers and not every farmers. So, every will be, if you go with this, then this should have been singular. So, here most farmers, so we choose this answer, most farmers have started using modern methods of farming. There are not few or many good doctors in this small town. So here it says there are not few or many good doctors in this small town. So here again we go with many because we are talking about not here. So if it is the not given here, so what would you choose? There are not many good doctors, and if it were not, this not were not there in the sentence, then yes, you would have chosen few. So there are few good doctors in this small town. So I hope you get the differentiation here. So there are no not many good doctors in this small town. Okay. So I stop here, and the rest of the questions would be done by you, and please send them back through your class email IDs. Kids, let's move on to understand the last kind of adjective, that is participle adjective. Well, we have learned about participles in verb. So it is past participle and present participle. So when it is present participle like gerunds, it's ing at the end of the verb, right? For example, work, it is working, ing. Then if it is scare, then it is scaring, ing. And then if it is past participle, it would have ed at the end. For example, book, booked, haunt, haunted. So some look, looked. So all these are examples for the gerunds and the examples for your past participle. Now, participle adjective, what do they refer to? They are referred to as so because present and past participles have been used as adjectives. So in the following examples, you will see that the past participles and the present participles have been used in the example. So for example, here haunted house. So the house is described here. How is the house? The house is haunted. So haunted means here, if you see note here, ed is there. So that's a past participle, and that's why haunted here will be called as participle adjective. And then flowing river. Look at this example here, flowing river. So it is a present participle. So it is happening right now. So it's flowing river. For example, Gitanjali ma'am is teaching grammar. So teaching. Now here it's a verb. Be careful. Though I gave you this example, it does not go well with the participle adjective because I am describing the verb which Gitanjali ma'am is doing. So here the differentiation about the verb participle and adjective participle is this, that this word will be placed, the participle adjective will be placed just before the noun it is describing, right? So we are describing the river here. So flowing river, flying bird, hopping frog. So I hope it's clear. You can also solve the exercises related to this particular adjective given in your textbook and then send it to me by your class IDs, email IDs.